whoever said you can't win a game of chance every single time? So I have here a fun 9-card game that can be played with 3 players. So there's 4 red cards, a joker, and then 4 black cards. Okay, so the rules of the game are as follows. If you receive the joker, you lose automatically. And you have to buy a candy bar for the other 2 players. Now the winner among those other 2 players will be the person with the most red cards. And if there is a tie between those 2 players, they both lose and must return their candy bars to the first player who lost because of that evil joker. Okay, so let's go ahead and play the game. Let me just show you how this works. Now, I really wish you were here because I would have you decide all of these random choices for us. Because you're not here, I'll have to use a 6-sided die to make those selections. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to perform something called the first shall be last and the last shall be first shuffle. Now this is a way of mixing the cards where I deal out into piles until you tell me to stop. And then I stack them in the opposite order to which they were dealt. So it's first shall be last and the last shall be first. So we stack in opposite order. So how many of these shuffles should we do? Well, let's find out here. 3. Let's do 3 of them. Okay. So what this means is I'll begin dealing until you say stop. Stop there. Okay. Stop right there. Stop on 1. Okay. 1 more. Okay, very good. The first shall be last and the last shall be first. Okay, that's the first one. We have to do 2 more. So let me start dealing. Stop there. Well, stop there. Okay. And stop there for sure. Okay. The first shall be last and the last shall be first. We have just 1 more to do. Okay. Stop with just 1. Okay. Stop. Okay. Stop there. Okay. So the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Very, very good. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, since we will eventually be dealing out 3 piles of 3 cards each, let's go ahead and just really scramble these cards into 3 piles. And why don't we bring in this evil joker? He's the one that will make one of the players immediately lose. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spell out evil, E-V-I-L, joker, J-O-K-E-R. Okay. Now, to further mix these cards, we're going to perform any number of what are called Klondike shuffles. So this Klondike shuffle is a powerful way to mix cards because, as you'll see, it takes the top and bottom cards off together and puts them next to each other. So how many of these should we do? Well, I don't know because you're not here, so I'm going to roll the die. 4 of them. Oh, we'll be here a while. Okay, so this is how it works. You take the top and bottom cards off as 1. So that's 1 Klondike shuffle. Top and bottom off is 1, and then just create a growing stack of cards. That's a second Klondike shuffle. Here's a third, and our final one is right here. I'm glad you didn't roll a 6 or something. Okay, that's all 4 of them. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I would like to just spell out deal. We're going to be dealing the cards. So D-E-A-L. Okay, so that's going to alert the universe that we're going to now begin dealing the cards, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'll deal to the first player, let's say right here. This is the first player. Here's the second, and maybe I'll deal to myself last, which is kind of customary to do. Okay, so let's see how we did. The person who receives the joker is automatically a loser, right? They lose right away. So if you want to look at your cards individually, that would be great. Well, you're not here, so I'll have to look at them for you. Okay, well, let's see how this person over here did. See how oh, we found the loser. Okay, this person received the joker. Okay, they're out of the game for sure. They are not going to win anything for sure. Okay, so they're gone for good. Okay, let's see. Should we see how you did or how I did? How I did? Okay, let me go ahead and show these. Oh, look at that. I got 3 reds. Remember, we're going for the most number of reds. But unfortunately, there's only 4 of them. Remember? You got all of the blacks. So that was a very convincing win. It wasn't even close. Oh, and by the way, I have this piece of paper off to the side, a little written prediction as to how this would all turn out. So let's just take a look at that and see what it says. It says, I will win, speaking of the performer, having 3 red cards. That happened. The second player will lose, receiving the deadly joker. And the remaining player will have received 3 black cards. So it was no competition between us. The win goes to the person with the most red cards. They didn't have any. I had 3 of them. Okay, so let's quickly step through it again, and I'll point out just one adjustment you may have to make in the performance. It ended up not occurring in my performance. It was just by chance, but if it happens, it's easy to remedy. So you begin with 4 red cards, and then the joker, we'll put them right side up, and then 4 black cards, okay? So what I began with is something called the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So the spectator's deciding like when to stop dealing into piles. Now, the shuffle itself says that we need to now stack in opposite order. Last shall be first. Now, it ends up that this is a simple packet reversal. That's all it does. So of all of the principles driving this effect, this is one that I'll disclose right now. The first shall be last and the last shall be first shuffle is just a packet reversal. So if you do this shuffle an even number of times, then you'll return the packet to its original order. If you do it an odd number of times, like we have right now, we've just done it once, which is odd, it will reverse the cards. That's what it does. And so the blacks will be on top, the red on the bottom. That's not a problem at all. So you truly can do as many of those first shall be last, last shall be first shuffles. Okay? Now from there, what I did was I dealt out into 3 piles. 3 piles of 3. And then you just stack them in the same order that you dealt them. So it's fairly easy to remember in that way. Okay? Now that ends up putting the cards in a very special arrangement that I may talk about in a future tutorial. And it's kind of the key to all of these 9-card effects that I'm showing you. Okay, and then I said, well, I pointed out how evil the joker is, because if you receive the joker, you're out. So I went ahead and spelled E-V-I-L, evil. J-O-K-E-R, joker, evil joker. And then at that point, I gave the spectator the option to choose the number of Klondike shuffles we would perform. Okay, and I used a die for it. But in reality, you can say, okay, how many times do you want me to do that? Now, you don't want to do it like 12 or 15 times. It'll just take too long. But it is true you can do as many of those Klondike shuffles as you like, and it won't undermine the ending result. Okay? And then from there, all I did was I just spelt the word deal, D-E-A-L. I dropped the rest on top. And now, before you finish, what I did, and I don't know if you caught it or not, you probably didn't, but I kind of like squared up the cards on the table. Now from my angle, I can see that that's black. Okay, you can even see that it's black from the camera view. So I just glimpsed the color of the bottom card. Well, if you think about it, if the bottom card is black, okay, this is black, and I'm going to deal, you know, first person second, and then me last. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to receive this black card, right? So that's an indication that I'm going to have to make a little correction. It's not hard to do, to ensure that I receive only red cards. In fact, I will receive 3 red cards. Okay, so since the bottom is black and it will be dealt to me at the end, that's a sign, okay, I've got to make this one little correction. So to correct for that, all you do is you just say, well, you know, maybe before we do our final dealing, why don't we go ahead and give you just, you know, one more set of choices. We'll do another first shall be last, the last shall be first. Want me to stop there? Stop there? Okay. Okay, stop there, and then maybe stop there. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Okay, so what I've done, let me just show you, I've corrected it. So the bottom card now is red, and that will be dealt to me. And that's a sign, because of the special organization of this packet, that I will in the end receive red cards. So now if you just go through and deal out into 3 piles, this is the first player, second player, and then I'm last, which is kind of the normal way to do things. The second player is guaranteed to lose, big time, because that person will get the joker. And then the first player will actually get all black cards. Well, that's bad news, because once the person with the joker is like out of the game, they've automatically lost. The competition now is between the two of us. Whoever has the most red cards wins. Well, unfortunately, you, this first player, you don't have any red cards. You have all black, which means I got red cards, which I did. So I finished with 3 red cards. You finished with 0, and this second player is already out. Now, what this would mean in practice, of course, this person has lost, so they're going to give us each a candy bar. But now, since I beat out this person, I get his candy bar as well. So I get 2 candy bars, and these guys walk away with nothing. Okay, you don't have to include that little betting element if you don't want, but if you perform these steps exactly as shown, this will work for you every time. Okay, so, and just be aware that there may be this little correction right before you do this dealing. If the bottom card's black, ooh, that's not good. You're going to have to do another kind of packet reversal, which we can accomplish by way of a first shall be last, a last shall be first shuffle, and then you're all ready to deal 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 until they're all dealt out. So thank you for watching, and maybe in a future video I'll explain more of the mathematics behind this effect, but it's ready to go now as presented and explained here. So thank you again for watching.